Hi, everyone. My name is Sergio. I'm from Fortress of Solitude. Incredible pleasure to meet you. Thank you for your time and congratulations on the movie.
Thank you. Thank you, Sergio.
Hi, Sergio. Where are you at?
I'm actually based in South Africa, Johannesburg, South Africa.
Beautiful place, lovely place. I had the pleasure of going there. I did a movie there in the early '90s. It's called Far Off Place. Reese Witherspoon and I spent 9 months in Southern Africa, and we got to go into Johannesburg. And then White Squall went back. We went to Cape Town though, but it's one of the most like special memories of my life. It's just a glorious place.
You appreciate it.
And I think I can still swear in Afrikaans, but I'm not gonna right now.
That can be off camera. So my first question actually is for you, Lily. You're having an absolutely bumper year in the horror genre. First with Sinners and now with Alma and the Wolf. My question for you is this. What appealed to you about Alma and the Wolf and made it stand out in comparison to something like Sinners?
Well, the order of how the projects came to me were actually reversed. Sinners came out very, very quickly, but I didn't learn that I had gotten Sinners until the very last day of filming Alma and the Wolf.
You auditioned for it when we were shooting, right?
Shooting, yeah. And it was super top secret. And so I can't really answer that question because I the Sinners was so secretive that it was an untitled Ryan Coogler movie. And I was given zero context. I was only given 2 pages to read. And the only thing that appealed to me was the fact that it was a Ryan Coogler project and that I was playing an Asian woman with a very, very, very thick Southern accent, which was intriguing to me because you don't think about Asians speaking with a thick accent until I did further research in the movie. But it just so happens that the horror genre finds me. I've done The Exorcist, which I was actually terrified when I would get scripts at 10 p.m. and I would kick myself for reading it that late. And then when Alma came around, I just thought, wow, what is it? What is it about my face that is just everyone wants me to be in a horror film? But then, of course, when the revelation happens, I was even more intrigued and more excited about it because I do love psychological thrillers. And I do love that Alma is something that I had never played before. So, yeah, that's what attracted me to Alma. Whereas Sinners, I didn't even know anything about it.
And Ethan, you're also no stranger to the horror genre either. And I think the role of Rain actually might be one of your most intense performances yet, because I found that the character, obviously, when we initially see him, he's got a lot of light, but a lot of darkness, obviously, within him. Now, as viewers, we experience his journey in real time, and seeing it, but obviously having one of the script beforehand, how do you balance your performance of this character, knowing what lies ahead without giving away too much in the beginning?
Well, you try to go back to your original reading of it, because when you originally sit with a project, with a script and read it, that's your first and last opportunity to see it as a viewer. So when I reading a script, it's a muscle of mine that I'm very familiar with. So when I sit and read them, I see everything. I see the world. I see my interpretations of characters. And so you try to go back to that when you read the reveal. You enjoy it as the viewer, and then you put it aside because you don't want that to color. But then there's things you can do. And this is one of to tie into what Lily was saying in your question to her, like horror, psychological thrillers, sci-fi. You have multiple choices that you can make in your storytelling, in your performance. You're not pigeonholed. Is it pigeonholed or pigeon-toed? But you know what I'm saying. You're not stuck into one choice. So as a storyteller, you get to sit, and we did this at Michael, the director's house, nearly every night the day before shooting, because we go to him with, well, I can see this as X, Y, and Z. Those are the choices that I could justify in my performance. Which one do you want? And then he would tell us why. We're going to go with why, and this is why I want that choice. And it's as a creative, it's just a really it's fun. It's a workout, and I thoroughly enjoy making horror, not just for the physical tests that it puts you through, but also the response it gives the audience. It is, I think, because you know how they say film is the highest form of art, because you have all of these different crafts and they're all working together for one piece. But I think horror, when done right, could be the highest form of film.
Great analogy. And Lili, also in terms of your character Alma, the audience's perception of the character changes entirely by the end. And this is also because of a little bit of the blurring of the reality, because of how Rain perceives the story. But what do you think for you is Alma's true purpose in the story? What is she an avatar for the lack of a better word?
I think that Alma is a projected, is Ren's psyche projected. I think the wolf and the goat, we all serve a purpose in his kind of fragmented state. I think the wolf is his rage that comes from his problem with alcohol. I think the goats kind of represent like a quiet observer in what he does. And I think Alma is the person that he wishes he could be, the person who has a little bit of innocence to her, the person who has decided that after this event, she will make a change. She will give up drinking. And I was saying this earlier, I think he projected this onto a woman because she is more of an open, like an easier person for him to open up to. And I think that she is just a reflection of who he wishes to be.
Okay, great. And I pretty much got 30 seconds left. So just a question for both of you. If every horror movie is meant to be a reflection of our worst fears, what would be yours?
Spiders. That's why Arachnophobia is the greatest movie ever made.
Wait, the question was, what was the worst? What was it?
If every horror movie is meant to be a reflection of our greatest fears, what would be yours?
Oh my gosh. Deep water. I'm not a big fan of deep. I love the beach. I love standing in the ocean, but deep sea is terrifying to me. And there's plenty of problems out there.
You need to watch The Abyss tonight, right before going to bed.
No, that's okay.
Great. Thank you very much for both of you for your time. My time is up. I appreciate it. And good luck with the rest of the release of the movie.